Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. My name is Kesh75 and you're watching my first look at the Jeep Compass 2026 model. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first and immediately arresting feat of this car is its striking, tough but modern design. It really looks like a certified SUV, something Jeep of course have arguably the largest history and skin in. The front grille is very imposing but also quite futuristic, with the illuminated LED signature on all the Jeep slits design signature. The aggressive front is topped off nicely with the nice narrow LED headlights. If we take a look at the back, I find that it complements the front quite well, as it continues the sharp and boxy lines seen at the front. The tail lights are married together by a seamless LED strip with the Jeep logo illuminated in the middle. Now I have heard some slight remarks that it's a bit reminiscent of the new Dacia design. The design language, which is fair, but not quite correct. As it is true that they both have hexagonal type shapes, but the implementation is completely different. The shape overall is typical Jeep and thus traditional SUV, which is an appealing thing all in of itself. This is interesting in particular since this car belongs to the Stellantis automobile group and thus shares the new STLA medium platform underpinnings. This is shared among cars like the Peugeot 3008 and the Opel Grandland, just to name a few. Size-wise, it is unique though, with it being slightly longer than the 3008 but quite a bit shorter than either the Opel Grandland or the previously reviewed on the channel Citroën C5 Aircross 2026 model. Speaking of underpinnings, this model is indeed like its siblings, available as a fully fledged EV with a mid-size and a big battery option. The small battery gets you up to 520 kilometers of range, while the large one, available from next year, goes up to 680 kilometers of range. Like its siblings, you need to take in consideration that the single-motor variants aren't very fast for an EV, with 0-100 times taking 8 to 9 seconds each. Uniquely to the Jeep though, it will come with an all-wheel drive version with near 400 horsepower next year if you want more power. Honestly, it does match up with the tough and sporty vibe that a Compass looks like on the outside design. The Jeep Compass comes with huge 20-inch wheels as an option, with nice detailing, and it has a sporty and tough-looking wheel arches around them. The color displayed in this video is the yellowish Hawaii color, which I can appreciate isn't to everyone's taste. It is the base color though, and other colors are of course also available. As you can see here, in my earlier look this year, I saw the, to me, silver looking variant, called the Yosemite Gray variant, which I'm betting will have a much wider appeal among buyers. The other two appealing colors to me are the dark blue Pacific color and the volcano black one, which really gives it an American SUV look. Now let's take a look at the interior of the Jeep. Stepping inside and taking a look at the interior, we really get a uniquely and at the same time distinctly Jeep interior. It looks solid and adventurous proof. After touching and feeling the interior, it also feels built out of solid and slightly premium feeling materials, especially on the seats and the doors. but also around the central console with nice detailed stitching. The parts that are slightly reminiscent of its platform siblings are actually the good parts, which is the infotainment screen in the center, very similar to that of the Oppo Grandland, as it shares similarly a 16-inch widescreen size and a high quality resolution and clarity, while the instrument cluster on the other hand is nearly identical to the one that we saw in the Citroën C5 Aircross. Again, if we take a look at it, it's quite positive, as the instrument digital cockpit is very sharp and crisp, and very advanced, allowing for different views, including the ones that I love so much, that are made possible in nearly all of the Stellantis products. Full smartphone navigation maps mirroring with full integration. This allows you to view the navigation app's full map of choice, with on the iPhone via CarPlay offering full Apple Maps or Waze. And if you have an Android phone, this allows full Google Maps viewing and also Waze. This remains a fantastic feature and easily puts the infotainment system on par with much more expensive BMWs and Android automotive powered brands like Volvo Polestar and Renault Nissan, and instantly puts it ahead of competitors such as the VW Group cars and the fierce Korean brands Hyundai and Kia, which do not have this technology at the moment. If we look at the central screen, it is very wide and again, as said earlier, of high quality. Also, the optional Focal sound system can be called premium with enough bass and enough power for a gratifying sound. The unique thing that Jeep has given the interior are the tactile buttons. Unique for the Jeep are the gear rotary knob and also the big-sized button strip underneath the infotainment screen. These look catered to people with large hands and large fingers, which to me makes it ideal for people wearing huge gloves, for example. Adventurous and outdoor people like the other hardcore SUV brands like Land Rover, Toyota and Nissan like the target. Interior space is also plenty and there's also a large booth. All in all, we could round out this first look and my first impressions by saying that Jeep has delivered a very appealing product for the segment. Jeep always sets itself apart somehow, and this model keeps that legacy going. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I've heard that the first model will be available for viewing at the end of January next year. But to catch this model earlier, Google Jeep Compass Preview, as the various importers in the Netherlands have preview days for the Jeep Compass. With that being said, that's been it for me, and see you guys in my next video. Cheers!